Hello everybody and welcome back to the part 3 tutorial of Nmap. Now we will cover some of the more advanced scans that we will use in order to figure out, for example, the version of process running on a particular open port. So let us just type here once again Nmap in order to see our available options, and let's, for example, try to detect the operating system running on my Windows machine. Now, as in the previous video, the IP address of my Windows machine is 192.168.1.4. So we will find here the option for the operating system, which is, I believe, -O. Here we go. It says enable OS detection. Now you can add some of the specific options, as it says right here, OSS scan limit OS detection to promising targets, or guess OS more aggressively. So we will just type here the basic command, which is just -O. So here we just type here nmap -O and then the 192.168.1.4, which is my Windows 10 machine. Now we can press the upper arrow in order to see how long it will take, and it should finish any second right now. And we can see right here, these are the open ports, the MAC address right here, warning, OS results may be unreliable because we could not find at least one open and one closed port. Device type general purpose, and it is just saying right here, running, just guessing, Microsoft Windows XP. Now, as you can see, this is wrong right here. I am not running the XP, I am running Windows 10, so this scan can be wrong at some times. It doesn't guess 100% every time you scan it. Now, it does guess most of the times, but as we can see right here, it didn't guess right now. Now, we can see that it gives us some of the other options as well, such as aggressive OS guesses, which is Microsoft Windows XP, SP2, Microsoft Windows Server, or Microsoft Windows Server 2008. We can see that none of these is true, so this scan didn't work for us. Let me just clear right here, but let us just try to, for example, scan the operating system of my Linux machine, which is on my laptop. The IP address of my laptop is 192.168.1.15, and let's just paste that right here. Yes, we forgot to specify the -O, which stands for the operating system scan. So let us just see right here, and as we can see, it says it is running Linux, which is correct. So basically it will just print you the open ports, the MAC address, and the guess of the operating system that the target is running. Now you can also do, as we can see right here, we can try to scan the scanme.nmap.org, or you can also try to scan the metasploitable. So basically, once you open the metasploitable, since you don't have it open right now, just type here in the command line, once you logged in with the username and password msfadmin and msfadmin, just type there ifconfig and basically find out what the IP address is on the metasploitable and just use it from your Kali Linux machine in a Nmap scan. So right here, let me just check out the site name once again, since I will scan this one. Let me just copy it. We will type here nmap -O and then we paste the site name. Let's find out what operating system is running on that website. Now, since this is not in my local network, this will take longer to finish, as you notice right here, but not too long. It should finish any second right now. Let us just wait for this to finish so we can see our output. And the scan has finished for the scanme.nmap.org. We also got all of these ports open, which we also saw in the previous videos, and we got the operating system, and it says, just guessing, Linux. Now, it is probably running Linux, but we cannot add with 100% since I don't own that machine and I don't know what type of Linux does it have. As it says right here, aggressive OS guesses Linux 4.4, 89%. Now let's see some of the other options we can also use instead of the operating system. We can cover the -SV. As we can see, it is the service and version detection. SV probe open ports to determine service version info. There are also some of the other options right here, for the SV option, but we will for now on just use the -SV. So let me scan once again my Windows 10 machine. So -SV, we will also type here the -V for the verbosity, and we will type here 192.168.1.4, which is the IP address of my Windows 10 machine. Now, as I said before, you can either scan their website, scanme.nmap.org, your host machine, or your Metasploitable, in order to check out the output of this scan. So let us just see right here, it prints us the open ports. As we remember, those are these three, and hopefully it will print out the version of these services running there. And as we can see, it does, and right here we have on the open port Microsoft DS, which is the service. The version is Microsoft Windows 7 -10 Microsoft DS workgroup. The version for the NetBIOS -SSN is Microsoft Windows NetBIOS -SSN. So as we previously saw, we can even get some of the information from the version scan. As we saw in the previous scan, the operating system scan, it said for my Windows 10 machine that it was XP, and right here when we scan the version we can see Microsoft Windows 7 -10 Microsoft. So basically we can notice from that some of the operating system scans are not really correct, and you can use the common sense which says, well, most of the people today don't even use Windows XP since it is basically an open machine. So now that we checked out the version of services running on my Windows hosts, let's check out the service and versions running on the scanme.nmap.org. So we will type once again -SV for scanning the versions, and then the name of the website. As you may have noticed, the Nmap can take the website name and the IP address as well. It doesn't just have to be the IP address, we can also type here the domain name, as you can see, and it will work properly. So let's just see at what percentage is this currently. Now it doesn't want to show us, but it should be over soon. And the scan has finished for the scanme.nmap.org, and we can see that only the open ports got the version, which is normal, since in the filter ports they have probably a firewall that is blocking our packets in order to find out what version they're running. So we can see on the open ports, which is 22 and 80, which is for the SSH, we can see that the version they're running is OpenSSH 6.6.1 Ubuntu, and on the 80 TCP open port we can see the Apache 2.4.7 on the Ubuntu. So as we did in the previous video, if you for example wanted to write that into a file, just type here two arrows and then results.txt. Now we won't be doing that since I already showed you how to do that. We can cover one more option in this tutorial, which will be the -A option. As we can see, it basically does multiple things, such as enable OS detection, version detection, script scanning, and traceroute. So this will enable the OS detection. It will also print out the version of the services, and it will also scan for some of the scripts. And we can see right here, if we type here nmap -v capital A and then scanme.nmap.org, we can see if the result from this scan will differ from the result of the previous scan. Now this scan can take a little bit longer since it is scanning for multiple stuff instead of just a single stuff, such as for example the operating system scan. This is scanning operating system and version and script and traceroute, so it will take a little bit longer. As we can see, it is discovering ports at the moment, and now it is scanning services, basically determining what version are they running. And now it is initiating OS detection, as we can see right here. Try 1, try 2, okay, it should be finishing soon enough. it says that the only 37% has finished. Okay, it should finish right here. Yeah, it finished. So you can see that this printed out a bunch of the options. For example, here under the TCP SSH port, we see the SSH host key, which is right here. I don't think that in the previous scan we even saw the 25 TCP port. Let me just check out. It doesn't even matter. I can't remember it. It was probably there. And under the Open HTTP Apache port, we can also see the version. And also here under the port 80, which is the Apache HTTP 2.4.7 Ubuntu, we can see the supported methods on the website, which are options get, head, post. Now this is the information that we didn't really see in any of the previous scans. So let me just check out what else we have here, as well as the... So here we have the standard OS detection, which is Linux 4.4 on the 89%. And here we have the trace route. Now trace route is basically the path that my virtual machine took in order to connect to the Nmap. So we can see that we are familiar with the first IP address that it took, which is my router. So basically it is normal to have your router as a first starting point in the trace route, and then it proceeded to other DNS servers in order to find out the IP address of the Nmap. So trace route can be useful sometimes, mostly in troubleshooting, but it can be used for other things as well. We can see that the Nmap finished one IP address in 74 seconds, which is pretty good. Most of the Nmap scans can take a lot longer, even a few hours. So for now on, we will just finish the tutorial right here, and I will see you in the Nmap part 4 tutorial in the next lecture. Now, I hope you're having a great day and take care.